It's past midnight. The streets are empty, the silence heavy. This is when the world feels different, when shadows stretch longer and forgotten places remember us. Tonight I'll tell you 3 stories. A diner that reopens when it shouldn't, a gas station where someone, or something, keeps watching, and a motel mirror that shows what cameras cannot. These aren't old tales. They're the kind that follow you, long after the lights go out. I was driving home after a late shift on Route 41. It was past midnight, maybe 12:30 a.m. The highway was empty, just the hum of my old car and the endless dark. That's when I saw it, the Willow Diner. For a second, I thought I was imagining things. The Willow had been shut down for years. I'd driven this road plenty of times, and the place was nothing but a burned-out ruin, half the roof caved in. But tonight, the neon sign was glowing bright red, buzzing in the silence. The windows were shining, clean, like the place had never closed. And the parking lot? It was full of cars. I slowed down, confused. Curiosity gnawed at me. Every car looked perfect, polished like they had just rolled out of a showroom. But when I glanced at the license plates, they were blank. No numbers, no letters, just smooth metal. Against my better judgment, I pulled in. The air smelled faintly of coffee and fried food. Impossible, but real. Inside, the diner was alive. The jukebox in the corner played a soft old tune. Booths were filled with customers, forks scraping on plates, coffee being poured. But something was wrong. Their faces, they weren't clear. Every person looked smudged, like a painting blurred with water. They moved, they ate, but their features were missing. My heart pounded as I slid toward the counter. A waitress in a pale uniform appeared. She looked more real than the rest, but her smile was too wide and her eyes never blinked. She carried a tray of coffee cups that rattled softly as she walked. She leaned down close and whispered, "We've been waiting for you. Room 14. I froze. My chest turned cold. Room 14 wasn't from here. It was the motel room I'd stayed in a week ago, miles away. I hadn't told anyone that. I stumbled back, knocking into a chair. The blurred faces in the booths all turned at once, heads snapping toward me. Their shapes began to shift, melting like wax figures in heat. I bolted for the door. The jukebox warped, the song slowing down, voices whispering behind me. I didn't look back until I reached my car. When I finally turned around, the diner was gone. The neon lights were dark, the windows were shattered again. The lot was empty, no cars at all, just a burned husk of a building, the same ruin it had been for a decade. The next morning I drove past again, just to be sure. A local trucker was fueling up nearby, so I asked him. He looked at me strange and said, "The Willow?" That place burned down in 2009. Whole night crowd was trapped inside. He added something else before driving off. Funny thing, they say if you see the lights back on, it means they're looking for one more guest. And ever since that night, every time I pass that stretch of highway, I slow down. Because sometimes, out of the corner of my eye, I swear I see the neon flicker back to life. I was 21 when I started working at a lonely gas station off Highway 19. It wasn't much, just 6 pumps, one tiny store, and the buzzing hum of fluorescent lights that never seemed to stop flickering. Most nights were empty. Maybe 1 or 2 cars passed between midnight and 4. I actually liked the quiet. I'd make coffee, flip through old magazines, and listen to the vending machine hum. But then the SUV started showing up. It was always the same. A black SUV, no plates, windows darker than night. It would roll in slow, around 3:13 a.m. exactly, every single night. It would park at the farthest pump, engine silent, headlights off. The first time I noticed it, I thought the driver had fallen asleep. I waited, expecting someone to step out, but nobody did. Minutes passed, then an hour, and then, just like that, the SUV was gone. At first, I shrugged it off. Maybe some night owl had weird habits. But then it happened again, and again. Every night, same time, same pump. By the fourth night, I was watching closely. I checked the security cameras, zoomed in on the vehicle. But the feed showed something strange. The driver's seat was empty. All the seats were empty. I asked my coworker, Max, to check one night. He squinted out the window and muttered, "Man, there's nobody in there." The way he said it, shaky and uncertain, made my stomach turn. The next night, I decided to go outside. The air was thick, heavy, as I walked toward the SUV. The closer I got, the quieter everything felt. The crickets stopped. Even the hum of the lights seemed distant. I stood just 20 feet away. The SUV's paint was spotless, glossy black. The windows were so dark they reflected me like a mirror. I raised my hand to wipe sweat from my forehead, and in the glass, my reflection raised its hand 2 seconds later. I froze. I waved again. The reflection waved back, but slower, deliberate, like it was mocking me. My chest tightened. I shined my flashlight directly into the driver's side. And that's when I saw it. The inside of the car wasn't the inside of a car at all. It was the gas station counter. My counter. The shelves, the register, even the half-empty coffee cup I'd left behind. And standing there was me. My reflection. Staring out from inside the SUV. I stumbled back, dropping the flashlight. By the time I picked it up, the SUV was gone. Not driving away. Just gone. The next morning, I brought it up to my manager. He didn't even look surprised. He just shook his head and said, "Don't mess with that thing. Don't even look at it. If you see it, it means it sees you too." He erased the tapes from that night without even watching them. His hands shook the whole time. I quit the job a week later, but I can't escape it. Now every time I drive late at night, I check the clock. If it's close to 3:13 a.m., I start to sweat. And whenever a black car follows me for too long, I can't help staring into the rear-view mirror, terrified that I'll see myself staring back from the inside. I worked nights as a clerk at a small roadside motel, 20 rooms, 2 floors, and a dusty lobby with a long mirror opposite the desk. Most nights were quiet. I drank burnt coffee, read, and counted the hours until sunrise. One night, a guest changed everything. He arrived just before midnight. Tall, gray coat, low hat shadowing his face. His voice was low, almost a whisper. "Quiet room, top floor if possible," he said. I handed him a key card. Room 613. He smiled, strange and thin, and walked upstairs without another word. For an hour, nothing happened. The wind rattled the glass doors, the clock ticked too loud, and I stared at the empty monitors. Then, something shifted. Stair camera, empty. Upstairs hallway, empty. But in the long mirror behind me, he stood at the base of the stairs, perfectly still. His hat hid his eyes, but his lips moved like he was whispering. I turned. No one. The mirror still showed him, closer now. First by the stairs, then near the vending machine, then behind the reflection of my desk chair. Always still. Always staring. My throat went dry. I checked the logbook. Room 613 had been listed unoccupied for months. The locks weren't even active, yet I had given him a working key. I dialed the room. The line clicked, filling with static. Under the static, faint tapping, like fingernails on glass. The tapping grew louder. I looked up. His hand was pressed flat against the inside of the glass, fingers splayed wide. My normal reflection overlapped with him, whispering. I bolted upstairs and pounded on 613. Locked. I pressed my ear to the door. Nothing. No breath, no shuffle, only silence, heavy as stone. Back in the lobby, my reflection was gone. Only him remained. His face was visible, pale skin, hollow eyes, lips stretched into a grin too wide for a human mouth. Then he spoke, clear as if beside me. "You left my door closed." I grabbed the fire extinguisher and smashed the mirror. It didn't shatter, just echoed a deep, metallic thud, like striking something hollow. His grin widened on the other side, teeth sharp, endless. By the time the police arrived, the lobby was calm. Room 613 was spotless, untouched. Officers suggested fatigue. Maybe I'd imagined it. But the mirror stayed wrong. For 10 minutes it showed him pacing, even while the real lobby was clear. Only when dawn light struck the glass did he vanish. A week later, the owner removed the mirror, calling it an old, warped thing. I quit soon after, though the memory clung to me like a shadow. Now I avoid mirrors at night, because sometimes in shop windows or polished car doors, I see him, standing just behind me, whispering those same 3 words with that unbearable grin. "You closed it.